Dean Martin Celebrity Roast, coming to you from the MGM Grand Hotel in the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Ladies and gentlemen, from the beautiful Ziegfeld Room, tonight's star-studded roast has brought together some of the world's greatest entertainers. They've come from all over the world to be here tonight, here in Las Vegas, in person, joining Dean Martin as he honors tonight's very special Man of the Hour, Peter Marshall. With tonight's guests, Vincent Price, Red Buttons, Rosemary, Karen Valentine, Jimmy Walker, Rip Taylor, Paul Lynde, Joey Bishop, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Orson Welles, Jack Carter, Foster Brooks, Ed Bluestone, your roastmaster Dean Martin, and tonight's Man of the Hour, Peter Marshall.
When they were looking for an MC for Hollywood Squares, Peter was the perfect choice because he's the biggest square in Hollywood. When he started on that show 11 years ago, he was a poor unknown. Now he's a rich unknown. But in Peter's defense, I must say, his show is very popular. He spends all of his time hosting Hollywood Squares, and it's driving his family crazy. Every night when Peter is in bed, he turns to his wife and says, "Remember, when you hear the buzzer, the game is over." Ladies and gentlemen, my good buddy, and he's going to do good, ain't he? Joey Bishop.
Thank you, Dean. You're looking good. I haven't seen you in about a year. Your eyes are nice and clear tonight. What are you drinking now, Windex? What has happened to the roast, Dean? No, I remember when we honored guys like Frank Sinatra, Red Fox, Bob Hope. Who are we going to honor the next time, Mr. Whipple? I'm going to tell facts. You know, we don't know each other that well. We're friends, but not that friendly. Like many people in show business, I eat out quite often, and in all those years and in all those restaurants, I take an oath to God, I can honestly say not once did I ever hear anybody say, "Let's eat fast so we can run home and watch Peter Marshall." Once I did hear a guy say, "If we eat slow, we could miss Peter Marshall." I can understand my being here to honor you. We're like in the same category. Neither one of us are superstars. But Orson Welles, when I heard he's going to be here to honor you, I couldn't believe what I heard. And I approached Orson Welles, and I said, "You are here on this roast for Peter Marshall?" And I found out the reason he's here. All his life he has wanted to meet Rip Taylor. The truth of the matter, this is not really a roast or an honor. This is a sympathy banquet. And he also, this is what you probably don't know, because when you're on daytime television, there's not too many sex overtones. This man, it's not conceit. You know what I mean? It's all right if you think he's a sex symbol. No, I mean it. You know, and I don't want to destroy an illusion, you know. But I have seen you, you know, manipulated, right? I tell you this from the bottom of my heart, you couldn't get lucky in a woman's prison with a fistful of pardons.
Ladies and gentlemen, a fellow paisano, Rosemary.
very, very happy to be here on this roast for Peter Marshall, and I love being on Hollywood Squares, except for one thing. I mean, actually, every time I'm on Squares, nobody sees anything but here up, right? I mean, it's just like this, right? I mean, I could be nude down here and nobody would know anything. Not only that, nobody would care.
That way you'd get a lot more laughs.
No, but actually, I was a little reluctant in coming up here to Las Vegas because Peter said, you've got to come, Ro. You've just got to come with me. All expenses paid. And he was so right, and that's the way it worked out. After I paid his expenses, I had to come and do this. The one thing that I've got to say about Peter that nobody knows, see how sharp he is? Always dressed so sharp. You always see him looking so sharp with the jacket and the tie on Hollywood Squares, right? Over here, blue jeans and sneakers. That's all. Sometimes, if he dresses up, he wears brown and white shoes. One of each. Oh, but I love him. And I'm very happy that I came up here to Las Vegas because the MGM Grand Hotel is absolutely fantastic. The service here, in case you didn't know, is just beautiful. They come in and they change the soap twice a day while you're using the shower. And I'll never forget the look on that bellhop's face, boy, like he never saw a shower cap before. But actually, I'm up here for several reasons. I'm here, first of all, for Peter, and secondly, and most importantly, I'm up here looking for a guy. And I want you to know I gave it my best shot. Wore my new coat, expensive dress, exotic perfume, smell it. Right? $85 an ounce. And it's called Perhaps Later. All I can say is that for $85 an ounce, it should be right now, folks. Thank you very, very much.
My next guest is that marvelous comedian and actor, Red Buttons. You might think that being very short and very red-headed would be a disadvantage to an actor. Not to Red. As a matter of fact, because of the way he looks, next year Red is starring in his own TV series. It's called Little Fireplug on the Prairie. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Red Buttons.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hollywood Squares is one of the biggest hits television has ever known. And so it's only fitting to pay tribute to a man whose charm, wit, charisma, and magnetic personality are responsible for all that fantastic success. But enough about Paul Lynde. Tonight we're honoring Peter Marshall. Why? Why are we giving this man a dinner when some of the biggest people in the history of the world never got a dinner? The bionic man who said to his wife, "What do you mean fix the lamp? I am the lamp." The mayor of Hong Kong who said, "Can't work today, have American flu." Never got a dinner. Yitzhak Rabin of Israel who said to Anwar Sadat of Egypt, "No, I don't want to join a pyramid club." Mae West, who said to King Kong, "Hey, big boy, would you like to monkey around a little bit?" dinner. Henry Kissinger, who said to his travel agent, "You heard me, I said Greyhound." James Cagney, who said to Mickey Mouse, "You dirty rat." Never got a dinner. Ben-Hur, who said to his sister, "Ben-Him." You want to switch? And Ben-Him, who said to Ben-Hur, "If I do, I'll be Ben-Gay." Billy Carter, who said to his brother, "Jimmy, can you get me on Hee-Haw?" Never got a dinner.
Our next guest is Zsa Gabor. Oh, I know it's Zsa Zsa, but it's a long show and we got to cut out something, you know. Zsa Zsa is a career wife. She made a career out of being a wife. However, she still has last year's husband. She doesn't know that the 77s are out. Miss Zsa Zsa Gabor.
What Dean means and says is absolutely true. I believe in marriage. I don't like casual affairs. With casual affairs, girls, you have to give back the diamonds. Also, when a woman is married, she has an insurance. Every woman should get a piece of the rug and put it in a platinum setting. I can help the way I feel. To a lot of Hungarian women, getting married is a profession.
No, you're using the wrong word. It means business. Profession means business, Zsa Zsa.
Darling, when a Hungarian woman goes after a man, that means business. But I don't depend on my marriages for a living. Once I was paid $100,000 for a book I wrote that was never published.
I know who paid the $100,000. The guy you wrote it about.
Oh, that's right, Dean, darling. But you spelled your name wrong on the check. In personality, I always help my husbands. One husband who married me became a millionaire.
Yeah,
Two
but he started
husbands.
out as a billionaire.
There are lots of eligible men on this dais, like Orson Welles. He make a wonderful husband. He's a great Shakespearean actor. His 12th night was marvelous.
Yeah, his 12th night was marvelous, but his wife says the first 11 were nothing. So, as we leave the aisle, how'd all these people get in my room? This has been a wonderful, I really enjoy having Orson Welles on these shows, because I like to listen to him speak, and I really mean it. They say that Orson has a voice like fine wine, and that's another reason I like him. Boy, he is the greatest in the whole world, Mr. Orson Welles.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean. I must admit that I find myself fascinated by your voice.
That unique tonal quality that starts in your diaphragm, works its way up through the thoracic cavity, onto the larynx, past the uvula, and finally out of your mouth. Certainly seems like a long way to travel for a hiccup. As for you, Peter, I've got to confess that I'm embarrassed. I fully intended to write my tribute to you last night, but Dean asked me to have dinner with him and a couple of his friends. One was a gentleman with a broken nose and a mustache, and the other had a normal nose and a broken mustache. After dinner, we had a few drinks, and Dean insisted that we just have one more for the road, and if you know Dean, his road is US 1 non-stop. Then a gentleman stopped by for a chat, Mr. Knuckles from Detroit. Dean told me he was in the cement shoe business. Needless to say, I was in a dilemma. Either go up, write a glowing tribute to you, or remain there and talk to these fascinating friends of Dean's. I found Knuckles perfectly charming, and an hour later I started my room, and would you believe it? As I passed by the crap tables, a man grabbed me and said, I looked lucky. He offered me a $5 chip to stand beside him whenever he rolled the dice, and there I was in another dilemma. Go up and write the speech for you, or stand beside some superstitious gambler for a paltry $5 chip. It's amazing how they stack up when a man is on a hot roll. And by this time, I was guilt-ridden and was heading for my room when I ran into Dean again. Actually, I tripped over him. And Dean suggested we go to see the midnight show in the hotel. It was the same old dilemma, Peter. Write your tribute, or watch 50 semi-nude girls cavorting around a stage. Not an easy decision to make. But I forced myself to go with Dean. All this led me to about an hour later when I was about to walk into my room. Luckily, a maid stopped me and asked me if I'd help her to make the bed. Peter, it was the big D time again. Do your tribute or assist a hotel maid in her rather routine labors. Peter, I can't tell you how proud I was of my hospital corners. Well, that brings me to this moment. All I have is the title of my speech. Who is Peter Marshall?
Ladies and gentlemen, Rippy Taylor.
Is it on? Oh, okay. Hello? I don't dance. This is it for me, kids. I'm Jimmy Carter. Now Dean drinks a new drink with martinis with peanuts in it. Am I going too fast? Wait just a second. We have gifts for everybody this evening. Just a minute. Oh, you're going to get it. Just stop it. Dean and I were drinking last night so much he made me the Captain Six-Pack of the year today. Hello? Hello? I got gifts for everybody tonight, gifts for everybody. For Vincent Price, who played in the motion picture The Fly. Vinny, your man is open. For Zsa Zsa Gabor, a drip-dry wedding veil. Zsa Zsa's leaving early tonight. Her friends are giving her a surprise wedding. We all have our hang-ups. Next thing, place, I'm nervous. Rose Marie looking for a man all the time. Here you are, Rose. No, Mickey Rooney's old kid. Now, wait a second. I met my ex-wife outside in the lobby. She said she wanted a foreign car. I bought her a rickshaw, the Barracuda. I don't like it. They all
that change. She said she had a facelift. Facelift? Whenever she sat down, her mouth snapped shut. Facelift? The real reason I'm here, because I want to get back on Hollywood Squares. I really do. Now, I can answer all those dumb questions. So here, Peter, read these to me right now, and I'll give you all the info, then I'll be back on the show real fast.
All right. You ready?
Thank you so much.
You ready for me to read?
They're written in Braille, so you can see. Go ahead.
All right. Rip, Rip, what is yellow and wears a mask?
The Lone Lemon. I was just teasing. I'm going to get all your names.
Yeah, now, Rip...
I got more laughs during acupuncture, for goodness sake.
Yes. What rings the doorbell and then knocks the door in?
An Avon gorilla. Hello.
Hey, keep that.
This side. Showbiz is my life.
All right. You ready for your third question?
Yes,
Tony?
go ahead, quick.
Why do women live longer than men?
That's easy, because they're not married to women. They're coming towards me again. Present for Peter, because he's a very dear friend of mine, and thank you for having me here. This is King Kong's Q-tip. Thank you very much.
Our next guest is an epicure. None of you know what that means, you know. And an art critic, and a connoisseur. Connoisseur? A connoisseur. Mr. Vincent Price.
Dean, it's indeed a pleasure for me to be on this dais, and I hope you all appreciate it. What a dais. I never knew I had so many inferiors. What a group. Completely devoid of culture. They have no savoir-faire, and I doubt if they even have bus fare. Now, you take Jimmy Walker. Why, you'd hardly call him a dilettante, really. Just look at him, huh? He shampoos his hair with woolite. His measurements are 36, 22, 36, and those are just his lips. When I agreed to come here tonight, they assured me that I would be amongst my peers. Some peers I seem to have wound up down at the docks. Have you ever seen so many cultural dropouts in your life? I mean, really, truly, I don't think anybody here has any feeling for music, literature, for Shakespeare. I dare say nobody here can interpret the immortal words, to be or not to be.
I know to be or not to be. That's somebody trying to make up his mind about a sex change operation.
Any way you decide will be an improvement. Tell me now, how many of you are acquainted with the deathless poem of Elizabeth Barrett Browning, How Do I Love Thee? Let Me Count the Ways.
At your age, there ain't too many left, baby.
Why are we honoring a clod? Can you tell me? Huh? You know, I mean, who knows nothing about the art of the bubbly, about champagne? I doubt if he even knows the difference between red wine and white wine.
There's no difference. I fall down from both.
In closing, I'd just like to say one thing, Peter. One thing. Now that you're a star, you should acquire an appreciation of art, like me. I see beauty everywhere. To me, an antique chair is exciting. A petit point tapestry is thrilling. A Renaissance table makes me quiver with ecstasy.
You must have had a crazy mixed-up love life, baby.
Isn't everybody? Oh, by the way, Peter, I saw your Las Vegas act, and you definitely have a future in nightclubs. Yes, another day or two at the most.
We're going to love our next young lady. She's the beautiful actress and television star who won an Emmy on the show Room 222. Ladies and gentlemen, the darling of Hollywood Squares, Miss Karen Valentine. Karen Valentine.
Thank you, Dean. Well, we can tell who the secret square is tonight. You're lit. I'm surprised you remember me from room 222.
Oh, yeah, I remember the room. It's the motel I keep forgetting.
I'm really glad you're kidding because, my mother's watching. She's been looking forward to this. But she thought we were honoring E.G. Marshall. Sorry, Peter. But she doesn't really like Hollywood Squares.
Oh.
She thinks it's very, very racy and suggestive. And she's right. Every time I think I've learned the facts of life, Paul Lynde comes up with another one. One time he made a crack so terrible, so dirty, that Charo blushed. She turned red and she was speechless for about 10 minutes. That was a first. And when her voice came back, it was in perfect English. We could understand her, but she didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And Hollywood Squares is really rough on a girl. Boy, you've got to watch the guys every minute. Last week, I kept getting pinched by George Gobel. And he was sitting 2 squares away and in another row. But I have to say, Vincent Price, he is always a gentleman. He is. Well, he's done so many horror movies, he just crawls into his box and lies down. But really, Peter, I do admire you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
11 years on Hollywood Squares, and he never gets tired of doing the show. He still comes into the studio 2 hours early to relearn the rules and to rehearse his ad-libs. But his famous smile, he doesn't have to rehearse that. That smile comes from his warmth and his love of life and his overbite. And I'm being tactful. Paul Lynde always calls him Beaver Face.
Hey, we got a new comedian on the dais here, Ed Bluestone. Ed is what people call a rising star. And if you want to see a falling star, meet me at the bar after the show. Ladies and gentlemen, a bright, young, funny man, Ed Bluestone.
I was thrilled to be invited here. It's a great privilege to honor Peter Marshall. Peter's career began 25 years ago when a high school guidance counselor told him that the only thing he was capable of doing was playing tic-tac-toe. Peter's an extraordinary man. He's the only host on television who needs 9 co-hosts to make his show amusing. It was never easy for Peter Marshall. He started out as a singer. He became known as a guy who sang from the heart, which is very necessary when you haven't got a voice. Now those years of struggle are paying off. In fact, this hotel wants Peter to sing in the lounge. Now he's waiting to find out if it's the men's or the women's. We've all been so excited about roasting Peter that last night Dean threw a party for everyone. Dean was so drunk he thought he was Zsa Zsa's first 4 husbands. Dean gets like that. There's a famous story about Dean. He was once stopped by a cop while he was driving, and when the cop asked Dean to blow up a balloon, Dean said, "Not only will I blow up your balloon, I'll buy you ice cream." Vincent's always experimenting in the kitchen. I remember once I was working in Florida, I sent Vincent 2 baby alligators as a gift. He threw them in a blender and tried to make Gatorade. Zsa Zsa is known for her wonderful acting ability and legendary generosity. She's been feeding the poor people of Hungary for years. She keeps sending them her wedding cakes. And if it weren't for Peter Marshall, we would not be roasting one of the nicest guys I know. And I'd like to thank Peter for being such a good sport, and thank all of you.
Thank you.
Peter, I don't think you've seen this man since he, retired from NBC.
Oh.
The former vice president and the executive who created Hollywood Squares. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Todson Quigley.
One nice thing about being retired. One nice thing about being retired, you got time for foolishness like this. But I must admit, Peter Moe, our guest tonight has been an entertainer for 30 years. He's made nightclub appearances. He's made Broadway shows. He's made hundreds of TV programs and several housewives who were contestants on his program. And it's truly remarkable. Through all this, his Timex is still ticking. And some of those housewives say that's about the only thing he has still ticking. A hit game show must have something for everyone. Adults, children, degenerates, perverts, and network censors. Oh, I mentioned them. In the early... At the start of game shows, the prizes weren't anything to shout about. There were no furs, no cars, no free vacations. The biggest prize we ever gave was a halfway trip around the world. That poor woman is still in Bangkok trying to get on a game show to win her way back home. I just noticed, when you smile, you have very, very pretty teeth. Most Hollywood actors have their teeth capped. He has his corked. I don't know how many of you had the pleasure of missing Peter's nightclub act. But I can tell you when he sings, that also is a game.
He's off-key so much the audience has to play Name That Tune. All his life, Peter Marshall has loved to play games. On his honeymoon, his wife had to wear a nightie marked door number 3. But, seriously, Peter Marshall is handsome. He has sex appeal, and above all, he's honest and everybody loves him. That's not only my opinion, it's his too.
Here's that talented new comedian from the Good Times show. Now, I've seen thin guys, but he looks like a prematurely born Tootsie Roll. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Freddie Walker. Jimmy Walker.
Until Peter got his own game show, he was Hollywood's most secret square. He said someday he'd like to switch and be seated in a square. Then he was reminded they're only reserved for celebrities. Peter really likes being recognized on the street, though. Fans come right up to him and ask him for Paul Lynde's autograph. Peter is a great host. He always tries to put the celebrities at ease. Like once Zsa Zsa Gabor was having a hard time coming up with an answer. Peter said, just say the first thing that pops into your mind. Zsa Zsa said, I do. He asked Vincent Price to be on his variety show. Vincent said he was through doing horror shows. Dr. Spock won't be on the show. He said the show was too childish. And Henry Block of H&R Block said he had 17 reasons why he wouldn't do the show.
Los Angeles is the cab driver who often takes Peter to and from his show. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Harry Butoff.
It's nice to see my driving teacher here, Foster Brooks. I had a choice of driving a cab in Guam or coming here, and I had to think about it. It's terrific to be here to honor a Ted Mack loser. I go back with Peter when he first started as a singer. He sang at a veterans hospital. He sang for an old soldier for over an hour. Then he said to him, I hope you get better. The old man said, you too. Mr. Price, I always feel that you're going to play the organ while the curtains are burning. It's nice to see Foster almost here. Just because you have red eyes don't mean you're a drunk. You could be a white rabbit. How can you forget red buttons? They gave me 5 Indian pennies for a tip. Look at red hair, natural, except for the color. But I love this man. Sayonara, the man got the Academy Award for that. And you had the right idea marrying a Japanese girl. Because they're faithful, delicate, and your mother-in-law lives in Tokyo. Pete, I saw your new show, and I want to tell you something. Is there no beginning to your talent? Peter, I want to say something. You're an inspiration to a lot of guys, especially me. After seeing what you've done with your career for 20 years, I don't mind driving a cab. Thank you very much.
Jackie Gale. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Gale. Here with us tonight, a bright young entertainer whom I'm sure you've all seen many times on the Hollywood squares. His name is Waylon Flowers, and he's brought along his crazy creation, a lady he calls Madam.
Sit down. Where's my bucket? Get my bucket. Oh, good. It's an ice bucket. I hope they didn't leave the ice in it. Keep my buns warm. Good evening, everybody. My name is Madam, and I'm an alcoholic. Well, zippity-doo-dah, look at this one. Come on, big boy, get it on. Give me some of that amore you've been promising me all these years.
Madam, you're a doll.
I may be a doll, but I ain't no dummy. Oh, come on and pucker up, Paisan. Blow in my ear. Oh, don't hold back, sweetheart. You know, you could be my last great love. And the shape he's in, I could be his. You know, this is the third turkey I've roasted this season. And it's not even a holiday. I just realized all the times I've been on Hollywood Squares, it's always been me sitting in the wine rack. And you down in that great big chair. This is the first chance I've ever had to get a close look at you. And you know what?
What?
You're just as I thought.
What?
Clean cut, honest, and dull.
Ladies and gentlemen, the sharpest of Hollywood squares, the irrepressible Paul Lynde.
I really fussed for you, beaver face.
Thank you, Dean. From the way you're acting up here, you're going to have to do something about your drinking. It's just booze, booze, booze. It's disgusting. Can you believe this, ladies and gentlemen? It's not enough that they have all these bars and cocktail lounges all over town. Dean went to a swine flu vaccination clinic because they heard they were giving away free shots. Happy, Dean. It's a great pleasure for me to be here to honor Peter. As you know, folks, he and I have been on Hollywood Squares together for a long time. I'll tell you how long. When we started working together, Karen Valentine was still on soft foods. That's why, because of our long association, I'm incensed at the barrage of remarks that have been hurled at Peter this evening.
Thank you.
They've been vicious, they've been obnoxious, and they've been hilarious. I happen to know Peter's a brilliant conversationalist. I was with him at a very posh party in Beverly Hills, and I saw Peter go right up to Henry Kissinger and say, "How are you, Henry?" And Mr. Kissinger said, "I'm fine." And Peter said, "That's right, X gets the square." And as a performer myself, I just can't stand the way Peter's singing and dancing have been maligned. Why, when he sings that Mother McCree, I cry. It's that bad. Before I go, Peter, I just want to tell you something. Everybody's been putting you down tonight, and of course they really don't mean it. I do.
Carter has just returned from Florida after a long run. He missed the bus. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. I love him, and you're gonna love him. Mr. Jack Carter.
Strange how all these game show hosts and announcers all want to be entertainers. They all want to do variety and sing and dance. Peter, why don't you be content with what you are? Nothing. Just a lucky usher. But this is really a weird evening. I think this whole night came from Vincent Price's Wax Museum. It's good to see you, Vince. I didn't recognize you. Sitting up after 5 o'clock, usually you're dead by now. And Jaja, whom I've been sitting next to all night, hearing things as, what did he say, darling? I can't hear a damn word. What's going on? I don't know. I think I lost a stone. I don't know. What a pity that some of the great old MGM stars like Clark Gable couldn't have been here tonight. He'd have been marvelous, just saying, yeah, great to be here. Great to be here with old Tito, my old pally drinking buddy.
Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
Not bad, Dean. If you were doing Mickey Rooney, that would be nice. And how about Richard Burton, star of Stage, Screen, and Booze?
Oh, is somebody paging me?
I can't conceive of a man of your dimension, your intellect, coming to your own testimonial dressed in such an ill-fitting tuxedo. You should get a new tailor.
This tailor God, I knew him.
And then, of course, the great Winston Churchill might have enjoyed this evening much better than I. Had he been here to say, Ash, knowing that Peter is an American truly makes this England's finest hour. And as I look about at this disgusting evening tonight, I can only say one thing. Never have so many said so much about a man who deserves so little. Good evening.
A lot of people want to know if that's really the color of Dean's hair. Well, all I know is the last time Dean went for a swim in the ocean, 50,000 tuna fish were washed on shore with Grecian formula poisoning. Vincent, as you know, is a renowned collector. He collects art, he collects sculpture, and if it weren't for my show, he'd be collecting unemployment. And many of you wonder why Rosemarie, my lovely friend, Rosemarie doesn't use her last name. Well, her parents insisted on it. And you either hate Paul Lynde or you love him. I happen to love him. Counting Paul, that makes 2 of us. Paul's had 3 television series, and they've all been canceled, which shows you that the public has taste after all. Rip is very depressed. Oh, poor baby. Very depressed. He just got turned down as a regular on Sesame Street. They said his material was too immature. And we're lucky to have Jaja with us tonight. She's between honeymoons. And Red Buttons is still working. Who says people in show business aren't charitable? And they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I don't know if you're aware of this, Jack Carter, but in all of show business, there's not one person doing an imitation of you. And I want to thank Jackie Gale for appearing here this evening. He received some very, very bad news later, a little earlier, and he showed up anyway. You see, they found traces of freshness in his act. But all in all, being a mental masochist, I really enjoyed this evening, And my dear friends on the dais, and Dean, I thank you for one of the fun evenings of my life. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.